Go.
Because of her choice and her ways that she is, all you're gonna do is force me to say, okay, figure it out. Because I've been there. You know, and that's what this faith too also teaches you. Sometimes you gotta let go and let people fall on their face.
Absolutely.
And I am a big promoter. When we was just laughing about, I don't like people because people don't like to listen when you're trying to save them.
Right.
So when I'm a big proponent of letting you fall on your face and figure it out. So this faith has its goods, its bads, just like anything else. But I'm gonna be honest, I got more belief, more energy, more power, more everything out of this faith than I did when I was a deacon of a church.
Right.
So you're going to go through turmoils with houses, teachers, everybody. You're going to go through it, but that's part of the journey. And as long as you keep moving forward and you find and get what you seek out of life, you're going to be happy. I'm happy about the situation. I'm happy about a lot of stuff. So,
yeah.
Like I said, find you somebody that's going to mentor you, teach you, and be there for you, because that's the only way this is going to build up. This is supposed to be, this is a very, I'm not understanding the beef or the so-called this part is better. This is the original. It does not matter if it's the original. Because
so do I.
You fail to realize, like I said back in the day, everybody came from an atom, so-called, and some of your people are laying at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Some of your people are buried on these islands. Some of your people are buried and hung from trees and all of this. Let's just be honest about it. We went through the worst to get here, so why are you disrespecting it?
Absolutely.
So understand, you're going to go through, they went through trials and tribulations to get it here. So anybody who literally from any part of, you should keep telling or making comments, you can make comments all day. You cannot take away from the fact that they brought it here. Those are survivors and strongers. Those are the ones who had to adjust to situations of slavery, being beaten, being killed, being grown men being raped by other men. And how dare you disrespect it? Talking about one is better than the other. You're going to go through terminology from house to house. You're going to go through troubles, and they made it, and here it is today. Here it is today, still living. So that's our responsibility as followers and participants of this faith and religion to spread it. So I'm not going to be confounded.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go and fellowship with people. I'm going to learn from Ishesha. If it goes with my Ori and it goes with my ancestors and the Orisha say that it's okay, I'm going to do it.
And that's the movement that you can make. You can make that movement and make it a real movement.
I'm going to go to Brazil. I'm going to go see how they do it. I'm going to go everywhere that they see it. I'm going to go to it where I understand that an African traditional religion, the ATRs, I'm going to understand wherever or Orisha, anybody who, I'm going to understand why they do it. And if it's meant for me to know, I'm going to know. It's our job to spread. You can't hold this to yourself. Even though it's a word of mouth, what good is it just having it in your ear and not putting it out in the world with your mouth? That's just that don't jive with me. It don't make sense. What's the point of you doing all this after you being selfish? And they're not about being selfish. I keep moving my hand over here because this is where our Orishas are at. They are over there on that part of the room, you know. But that's what I'm saying. So you got to pay reverence and respect to them. Respect to your ancestors who sacrificed to bring it here. Don't pay attention to what nobody say. Well, this is better, this is that. You don't know that.
And for those people who's always talking about they do it differently, they don't do it. Like I was watching a video and this lady was talking about, because she's in Isheshe, she was talking about, well, the way we receive Ileke, and I don't think they say Ileke with the E, Aleke or something like that. Okay. She said, we have to consecrate our Alekes, and we have to, they're consecrated from the Orishas that we receive, and then she received also Egbe, Ileke, but she doesn't have Egbe. And in so many words, you can get an Ileke that represents a spiritual icon, even if you don't have that spiritual icon, as long as it's consecrated. You just can't buy it out the store and wear it. I said in the comments, I left her a message, and I said, well, it's the same way, because she said they do it differently in Santeria and Lukumi, but in Isheshe, it has to be consecrated. I'm like, it's the same.
Yeah, it all has to be.
How are you saying that when you're not in Santeria or Lukumi? So how do you know how they do things?
You don't even have to.
You can't speak about how people stop speaking about how people do things in other lineages, if you will, or not religion, because it's all the same, like tradition thing. But in other lineages, if you really don't know, I'm not going to put my mouth on what Isheshe do, because I don't know what they do.
Right.
I just know that they don't do it the exact same way as they do it over in Santeria or Lukumi. But I don't know the fundamentals of it. I would never make a video and say, oh, Isheshe, you don't get their, they don't get their Ilekes consecrated. That sounds so stupid.
Don't nobody. And that's the whole thing with you. That just shows the ignorance of a person. You ain't gonna, even if your Orishas are in Isheshe or Lukumi, you still gotta get them consecrated. Because other than that, you're just wearing jewelry.
Yeah.
There is not one Ileke on my neck that ain't been consecrated.
Right.
I'm not gonna wear an Ileke that did not get consecrated, that an Orisha said that it was okay for me to put on.
Right.
That makes no sense whatsoever, because you can go to the store. I ain't even gotta go to the store. I can go to Joanne Fabrics, Michael's, and wherever, and go and make these myself. It gotta go through a process no matter where you go. That just shows the ignorance of people's thoughts and where they're trying to. So that person right there is a divider. I don't want to be entertained with them. I will school you. And if you come to realization, oh yeah, you make sense. Okay, I was wrong. Then yeah, we gon' fellowship, because we all don't know everything.
Right.
But when you don't know the basics, that everything got to be consecrated, life got to be put onto this. A life has to be sacrificed. You don't even know your own faith. If you can't go and just put on something. I had, this is my hand of Ifa. Look at it. I was told that I had on another one, because my original one is with my ruler pot. It broke. I wasn't shipping it down to Texas to get it reconsecrated, and we didn't know nobody up here. There's nobody in Cleveland that really do it. You know, the Lukumi Santeria.
That we know. I mean, we know people here.
We know people, but you know that they do it with the green and the yellow. They got the green and the brown, and that's fine. But I had a Babalao one on, big, with the beautiful. And I had to get this one. This is not my original one. My original one is but
you had to get that one taken off because you're not a Babalao. You respected that.
Right. So you would know stuff like that. But you don't even know the basics. Don't talk. Don't spread the message. Don't spread nothing that you don't know. I'm not sitting up here telling y'all anything that I don't know. Anything that I have not experienced. Anything that you feel that I'm saying wrong, you got the right to question it and say something to it. I'm not going to chew your head off, because, again,
this is mostly about an experience versus a teaching set. We're not teaching nothing right now.
I'm not teaching nothing yet, but you better believe when I start teaching something, I'm going to have A, B, C, D, facts. I'm a person that deals in facts. I deal in logic and...
in the way you were taught.
Yeah, in the way I was taught, and just in general, I deal in logic. I don't deal with opinions and emotions.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
In my personal life, I don't do that. Everything is backed up by facts. Okay, this is with this. That's how I operate. That's just how you're supposed to operate in this faith.
Mm-hmm.
Does not matter how you say, well, this one is the true way. You don't understand. Your ancestors sacrificed for people to understand this. They didn't have the river to go to Oya River. They didn't have that. They landed on Cuba, Jamaica. They landed on all these islands. They didn't have all of that stuff. They didn't have the cola nuts, the pool. They used cocoa. They had to adjust and keep it moving so that this face.
And some of them did have cocoa. Some of them did
they
have
had to hide it in their.
Yeah.
They had it in their braids. They had it in their butt crack, and they
the
had
ones
it up.
he's talking about the ones that were moved away from it. Yeah,
the slaves. They had to do that, but you cannot dishonor them or say one is better than the other when you don't know the. How can you say that ain't no ultimate sacrifice? That is just so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So stupid. They gave their life in order for us to have it. They gave their life in order for us to learn it. They gave their life. It was gatekeepers for certain reasons because there are sabotagers. There are dividers. Like that person right there who said that. I don't care how many followers you have. I don't care what you have. You're wrong on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
You lucky. I didn't see it because I would have, man, it would have went in on you.
You've had so much controversy on Facebook.
Man, you know how many times, man, so many people came after me and I had to boom, 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 boom,
about
boom.
certain issues that you were so passionate about.
Right. I get, like, for instance, I support Donald Trump more than I support the racist people that you call you, the racist president that you currently have, the person that ran against Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
If she can do Haiti wrong, what makes you think she can't do us wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Go look it up what they did in Haiti. Mm-hmm. Everybody hate on Donald Trump. They blame everything on Donald Trump for everything, but everything that has something, it was a Democrat behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you're thinking. If you a communist, Marxist, and all of that, you ain't gonna. That's your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And this is facts. You can be a communist, a Marxist in a capitalist society, which most people are.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be a capitalist in a Marxist or a communist situation.
Mm-hmm.
If
Speak your truth, babe.
I
like this. Keep going.
No, because
I want you to keep going.
I know.
Please.
But it is just like we're going off topic.
It's okay to go off topic. Sometimes that's what happens. You can go off topic. I mean,
that's the whole problem. You know, only certain people. That's the problem with a lot of faiths and religion. Only certain people. They want to keep the knowledge to themselves, and that's fine. If you only keeping the knowledge just because you know this person is not ready.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feed, like I said in previous videos, you don't give a newborn some steak and potatoes with onions and all of that type stuff. You give them what they appropriately need to be fed. But as long as you feeding them appropriately, giving them the right stuff to help them grow, don't give them, this day now in age, they don't breastfeed. Some people don't breastfeed their children. Don't give them water instead of giving them the milk that they need to grow.
Right.
That's the same thing that we go through. That is the same mentality that people have with these, as far as the government part, as I was just saying. But at the end of the day, you can't knock a person for what they believe in.
Right. You can't.
You know, I'd have got knocked because I like the fact that what Donald Trump has done for black people, everything that Trump has done for black people, Joe Biden reversed.
You can talk about it.
Oh, I'm about to talk about this. How is it that you call somebody racist and they made sure that the government of the United States had guaranteed money for historical black colleges, but then a person tells you that you're not black if you don't vote for him? The same one who sat up there and destroyed every black person that came into the Senate that tried to be a judge, any type of part of the government when he was in office. who was friends, associated with a person that's part of the Ku Klux Klan, spoke at his funeral, gave the what you call it, what they do at funerals? Because I'm not allowed
eulogy,
to go.
Eulogy.
Yeah, he gave the eulogy
If
to
I'm
a person.
saying it right?
Yeah, to a grand dragon of the thing. But let's go back to what he did, though. He reversed the guaranteed money to historical black colleges. But Trump's the racist, huh? Who really the racist? Who really trying to hold us down? Who really trying to hold us back? Think about it. Y'all cannot, on a whole nother level, you cannot deal with certain people that ain't gonna give you, ain't gonna teach you. Back it up. And I'm gonna go about them, and I might catch heat about it, but so be it. The situation when Puerto Rico happened, they blamed Trump for everything. They blamed Trump that he didn't give enough stuff. How is a governor standing in front of giving an interview of the stuff sitting at the airport? He didn't give nothing to Puerto Rico. Years after he got out of office, they found it in warehouses, expired, but he didn't do nothing for Puerto Rico. Who moved it into the warehouses? He didn't do it. They exposed, and they voted her out of Puerto Rico as the governor if she was doing her job so well. Why would they do that if she was doing a fantastic job? Every Puerto Rican that I had, that I was friends with, everyone that I was friends with disowned me because of the simple fact who I voted for.
How did they know who you voted for?
Because I made it clear.
On
I'm not
Facebook?
going to, I made it clear personally and on Facebook. I grew up with these, I helped, and we used to work at factories and go to lunch together. I would bring them food, they would bring me, and I love food. I love trying different food, all kinds of stuff.
Right, because you're a chef.
We grew a bond, and because I voted for this person, y'all got the misinformation. Y'all didn't see this. It didn't make sense. And then it later comes out that it was a democratic situation, but still to this day, y'all want to blame Trump? Trump didn't hide the stuff. And yes, y'all got family down there, but at the end of the day, he didn't hide it from y'all. You didn't get it to the island without his permission. That came from the U.S. government. So how did it get from at the airport, hidden in warehouses, he out of office, the person, they find him warehouses of diapers and all of this type stuff in these warehouses, and then they vote her out? Please make that make sense to me. That's the same thing with this. You're going to deal with people that's in power, that don't want to teach you nothing, that's going to fool you, and that's going to take your money, take your time, take your energy. They either going to take your money and house build. And if you ain't got nobody that's sitting up there trying to teach you on a whole nother level, then you don't need to be with them. Plain and simple. It's no shots to nothing or nobody.
Right.
It's just being truthful.
It's just speaking your truth. That's all.
People,
I believe I'm a free-spirited type of person when it comes to speaking your truth.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with speaking your truth.
That's the problem that I have with certain elders. You can't speak your truth because they will say, going back to that, it's disrespectful.
It all depends on what's being said and how it's being said. I'm not there to...
Even if it's through a text message, you can't really interpret how it's said through
and that's
a text
wrong.
message.
And what a lot of people got to understand, text messages ruin and destroy so many relationships and conversations and situations because you can't be there if you're not there to... And even if
it's in person, if you're not agreeing with that person and humbling yourself because of what they believe and how their thought process is and what is conducive to their narrative, if you're not humbling yourself and sitting there like, okay, yes ma'am, this and that, yes ma'am, that, and they're not used to a person being able to speak their truth. They're used to a person being so, I I don't even want to say humble, but just dumbfounded to the point where they're just.
It's being humble. It's like,
I don't call being humble not. I don't call that being humbled. If there's truth to a situation or a certain matter, and you can't speak it because you know that person is against what you're saying, that's not humbling yourself. To me, that's just not speaking your truth.
Sometimes it's just the fact it'd be disrespect because the simple fact you told the truth and they got convicted.
And so they call it's not disrespect.
Right, it's not disrespect.
They try to manipulate it to be disrespect.
Well, sometimes it can come off disrespectful.
Because you're not
just
jumping on a bandwagon.
You don't have to jump on a bandwagon. It's just sometimes it comes off disrespectful.
So then that's their truth, and I respect their truth.
Right.
But what's my truth is when I know that I'm not being disrespectful.
This is the thing. It's only one truth. It's not their truth or your truth. It's just the truth.
And
we gotta my truth. No, it's not.
It is because it's important in psychology. They teach you that it's important how I'm experiencing you. So
that's called an experience.
Wait a minute.
But it's not the truth.
Let me say, babe. If I'm experiencing you being a certain type of way to me, and you're telling me that you're not being a certain type of way to me, then it goes back to what I'm saying. That's your truth. What you feel is disrespectful or your bad experience with me versus what I feel like I'm doing. So my intent for whatever you're feeling could be something different. If I just wanted to tell you, hey, I really didn't like how you cooked that food. It was nasty. I didn't like it. And you say, I cooked it the same way yesterday like that, and you get offended and you feel like I'm being disrespectful to you. That's not being disrespectful. That's just being truthful.
No, because at the end of the day, this truth situation comes, the truth situation comes still back to the word opinion. Because that's your opinion that it was nasty to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your truth. It's an opinion.
Okay.
The truth is that I cooked the meal. The truth is I cooked the meal the same way. Your opinion has changed from yesterday to the day. If I cooked the same meal the same way that you ate it yesterday and you liked it, and then today, a different day, I cook it the same way that I cooked it yesterday, and you say it was nasty, that's your opinion. That's not the truth, because the truth is I cooked it the same way like I did yesterday.
Yeah,
so it's an opinion. So it's not an opinion and truth. That's the problem. We make up all this problem with this society. We make up words to justify stuff. That's not a truth. That's an opinion.
Even if you cooked it the same way, what if something was bad, or what if you put too much of this in it and put too much of that in it, but you still cooked it the same way?
I cooked it the same way.
Or what if
listen to what you
there was something in the skillet and you didn't know that it was in the skillet?
Okay, but again,
and it tasted a little funny.
I still cooked it the same way. And if I added something to it differently, then I did not cook it the same way.
No, I didn't say added something.
Or take something.
I did.
We
all over the place. I like when we all over the place.
But that's what you just said. If I added a little bit too much more, I did not cook it the same way then. So if I cook it the same,
going back to what I was saying,
am I right?
Psychology teaches us.
Am I right?
Maybe.
No.
Psychology teaches us that you have to check in with a person that you're dealing with. So if I'm checking in with you and you checking in with me, and I say, Virgil, how are you experiencing me? And you tell me, you had a really bad attitude and I just don't like, or whatever your opinion is. That's your truth.
What's that word again?
It can be an opinion too.
It's still an opinion.
Okay, but the opinion is your truth. How about that?
No, it's not. It's not the truth.
Okay, so I'm gonna use that same thing on you when you say something to me, and because you always Verge like to say, and that's just facts. I'm gonna say, no, that's your opinion.
No,
your opinion to you is a fact.
No,
okay.
I don't do that. I
do that all the time.
No, babe.
Okay.
Change the subject.
Let's go.
Because
let's move forward.
I deal in facts. I literally
go back to what you were saying about Trump, about your facts, and about how people, whatever you were saying. Go back to that.
I'm just going back to the fact that it's the same thing. We get discouraged, and we need to pay attention to the facts of what people or what was sacrificed for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it may not be the same thing as, you know, Isheshe or how it was taught and how it's being taught in Africa. But you do not knock it. You do not try to sow. It's people that sow division, and that's the problem. That's the if you don't understand that, look at Christianity as a whole. Look how many different denominations. How is it that and it's all opinion. All these different denominations were by men's opinion on how to worship your, you know, your faith, your Christ, your God. It's all divisions. So why do we have to have it? We come here for something different, what we believe is true, what is showing us this is a traditional faith. You know, why do we have division that's unnecessary? How can you take away that the fact those people who died as slaves, how many, and let's be honest about it, you know, and you Isheshe, you know, participants, let me know. How many humans do you sacrifice to the Orishas? Because it was a lot of human sacrifices to make it here for Lukumi and Santeria.
What do you mean break that down? Somebody might misinterpret that.
Human sacrifices. The people that jumped off the boats because they were starving to death. The people that were killed and raped and thrown off the boat. It was so bad that sharks changed their eating patterns. They used to follow the ships from Africa all the way to the New World because they knew they was going to get a free meal. How many of our people are lying at the bottom of the ocean? Because with this, to make sure that we get this here, that was a human sacrifice.
They didn't do that. They didn't
do it by choice.
Right.
But guess what? They sacrificed their life. It was a lot of them. It wasn't just.
They threw themselves over.
A lot of them committed suicide. A lot of them was forced over there because guess what? The slavers made sure they ate. They didn't care about us. We was cattle. But the ones that it was some people from the Isheshe people who brought the faith over
and
that
kept
went
it
into
alive.
Kept it alive.
Yeah.
So how dare you to disrespect the ancestors? And you American born people who practice Isheshe, you benefited from them because you're here. Those are your ancestors. Your ancestors are laying in the bottom of the ocean. Some of y'all flew over the plains. Okay? Very few. Millions came over through them boats. And for you guys to just discourage them just because they do it this way, they had no choice but to hide them behind the saints in order to keep it alive. That's a sacrifice there.
Mm-hmm. And that's just that on that.
And you can't knock it. So the whole point, like, you know, Lukumi Santeria Baba said, why do we gotta have division?
Absolutely.
So, and that was Joseph Baba Ifa. But you know, it's like you don't the sacrifice.
And the favorite Babala.
Oh man, the favorite Babala.
At least I hope so.
Yeah. You know, it just gotta stop. And understand that right now at this time, honestly, I don't really want to say this saying, but get while the getting is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, your walk, your choice. I'm done, man.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into our channel. And please, if you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and also send a thumbs up so that YouTube can continue to generate our videos on YouTube, and share the video. Gods and goddesses, moons and suns, Moon represents feminine energy and sun represents masculine energy, right?
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Bye.